Breaking news here on CBS Sports HQ, and if you're squeamish, look away here. Jordan Travis has just suffered a gruesome left leg injury. Starting quarterback for Florida State on a run, taking on North Alabama, and he has been carted off the field with what you just saw, a gruesome leg injury to the starting quarterback of Florida State, Jordan Travis, who at one point was in the conversation for Heisman Trophy, 20 touchdowns, 2 interceptions this season. And those kind of injuries are the ones you hate to see in any sport. Emery, you saw that injury. Unfortunately, his season is over. That is the kind of injury that I hate to see it for the young man. Florida State having a heck of a season, but for Jordan Travis and what he's done, for that to happen right now, I mean, there's no other way to say it. It sucks.
It really does.
I mean, it's just I feel bad for the young man right now.
When you think about what he has overcome and how he has gotten himself into NFL draft territory and what he has meant to Florida State and what he has done for this football team and program and how much better he has gotten over the course of his career at multiple stops, you hate to see this happen in a game versus North Alabama. This is not a championship game. This is not a game for the national title. This is a game precluding, you know, a game next week against Florida. So this was a horrible time to have this injury anytime. And it was, again, one of those tackles that everyone talks about, this hip drop tackle that kind of got his leg caught up underneath it. It's unfortunate because he's such a fantastic player.
When you played, did you ever see, were you ever on the field for any kind of injury like that? What's the scene like on the field after something like that happens?
I wasn't on the field when something like this happened. It was at practice when something like this happened. We had a teammate of mine jogging back to the huddle after a play, and his ankle just snapped. Everyone was shell-shocked because we had never seen anything like that, to where it was like, wow, what just happened? And now we have to go back out there and continue to have practice where one of your guys just broke his ankle, snapped it in two. But something like this we hadn't been a part of, whether it was, you know, in a game or not, but that was the closest thing. But this right here, to lose your quarterback in this type of situation with that type of gruesome injury where you know his season is done, and at the end of the day, your season may potentially be done. I feel for Jordan Travis. I feel for Florida State. I feel for everyone involved with that Seminole program.
You see him being carted off the field. The fans are cheering him on there in Tallahassee. And look, they have another game next week before they play in the ACC championship game against Louisville. They take on in-state rival Florida. And now that they don't have Jordan Travis rest of way, this is a tough road ahead. It's Tate Rodemaker rest of way for Florida State. When you have to go and face your team and your coach Norvell, and you just lost your best player on your team, and I know it's the next man up, and it's a lot different in college football than in the NFL. The backups in college football are not as good, not expected to step in all the way. Not unless you're at Alabama and you've got Tua Tagovailoa to back up Jalen Hurts. Like, you know what I'm saying here. Like, sometimes there's a good backup, but this is hard now to think what is the future for Florida State for the rest of this season.
Well, here's the thing. History is a beautiful thing, and I'm a big guy on history. We saw this play out with Ohio State and Cardale Jones. We didn't know about Cardale Jones until he had to step in the game in the most crucial parts of the season, the championship game and subsequent playoffs, and played rather well. So here's an opportunity for you to be the hero if you're Florida State. We don't know about you now, but you have a great opportunity to say, this is who I am, this is what I bring to the table. All is not lost. We can carry this thing through Florida, through the ACC title game, and through the playoffs.
He stepped in for JT Barrett in the Michigan game. And he did rally the Buckeyes. This is going to be a little bit tougher for Tate Rodemaker as they face Florida next week, then Louisville in the ACC championship again. I say this with the most genuine way I can say it. Our thoughts and prayers are with Jordan Travis. I mean, look, it's a gruesome leg injury. Look, he's done. Like, this is he can't come back and play another year of college football.
Right.
So it's not like it's not like he can come back, recover, and come back and play and finish out his season. Unless if you tell me wrong, he can get some sort of medical red shirt for this end of the year. I don't think that's even on the table.
I believe he already had that medical red shirt. But here's the thing. If you're Jordan Travis right now, your focus is get healthy, get ready for the combine and get ready for your pro career, because he's going to have a pro career. It sucks that it ended this way for him at Florida State, but when we're talking about moving forward, life is a long game, right? And he has a lot of football left to play, and preferably for the NFL. And I think this is going to be one of those moments he looks back on it and say, wow, I became a different player after this moment. But it sucks for Florida State. It sucks for him in this season, because no one was talking about Florida State potentially going to the playoffs and through the playoffs. I feel like that is gone now. That ship has sailed. So we'll see what happens moving forward. But for Jordan Travis, his next mission is to get healthy. Then after that, let's worry about the combine, and let's worry about April in the NFL draft.
Well, I mean, they're fighting here for a college football playoff spot. Like, if they run the table, win the ACC championship game, you know, they're in the college football playoff. Now that feels like a reach. That's what it feels like.
They have to worry
and look,
about.
I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to count them out and they're done. But Jordan Travis is one of the best quarterbacks in the country. I mean, that's where we're sitting right now. Because I'm not going to put an end to Florida State's season. But when you consider where they were at and the hope for this season, how it ended last year with Coach Norvell, Jordan Travis coming back, the offense, the way they looked, been consistent. Maybe not big flashy numbers, but they've been consistent all season. And they were going to give themselves a shot to get into the playoff the final year where we only have 4 teams.
Now, here's the thing. You can be an efficient football team and make your way through some games and make your way through a playoff or a conference championship game. But what Jordan Travis brought to Florida State's offense was the dual threat capability. He was someone that not only was able to do damage with his legs as a runner, but as an escape artist within the pocket. So he was able to move within the pocket, keep his eyes downfield, find big plays downfield. So you lose the dual threat capability without Jordan Travis out there, and you lose that guy that has played a lot, seen a lot, done a lot. And so it's going to be interesting to see how Florida State moves on from this with Rodemaker at quarterback, because, again, he's not Jordan Travis from an athleticism standpoint, what he brings to the table from a dual threat perspective, and what he was able to do locking in crucial moments of a ball game to bring Florida State back. So that's why it's such a huge loss for the Seminoles.
Tough scene in Tallahassee this afternoon. Jordan Travis carted off the field with a gruesome leg injury as Florida State tries to continue a perfect season. And you see his teammates and the opponents from North Alabama rallying around Jordan Travis being carted off. Coach Norvell there with his quarterback, and a tough scene indeed. But Jordan Travis, one of the best quarterbacks in the country, gets carted off here, waves to the fans. And again, these are just always tough scenes when you see any player get injured like this, especially when you're talking about Jordan Travis and an undefeated season. Much more ahead here on CBS Sports HQ. We'll get out to Tallahassee. We have an insider on the field that will join us with more here on CBS Sports HQ.